Yo, we are back. New week, new pips. We'll look to see what we're going to be looking at this week. I'm probably only going to be looking at maybe 2 to maybe 4 charts this week, nothing too crazy. This week looks like it's going to actually be a continuation week. It's the same as last week. So, as always, guys, we're going to start off with the recap of everything that went down for last week, and then we'll flow into everything that we're going to be looking at for this week for the upcoming weekly Forex forecast. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive on in, man. So I can share with y'all how last week went because it was pretty solid last week. So hopefully y'all were able to catch some trades. So let's get started. Okay, so last week I shared with y'all Bitcoin, gold, DXY, EURUSD. I really didn't share with y'all gold. That was a personal trade. I just showed y'all what I was already in. There was really no gold trade from last week, but I do have a gold for y'all this week. USD CAD, and then NZDUSD. So we're going to start off with Bitcoin. So last week, I shared with you guys towards the beginning of the week that I was going to be looking at Bitcoin to head towards the upside, take this high, and then I'm going to be looking at a break towards the downside. So we have still not yet broke the high, but we have pushed up a nice amount. So if y'all were able to capitalize on the Bitcoin trade, then cheers, man. It did push up pretty nicely. Go ahead and go risk-free if you are in the trade. We have went risk-free on this trade, and we have also taken some partial profits. I did make that announcement in the chat room, which the link is down below. It's completely free. So if you guys are not in the chat room, make sure y'all are in the chat room and make sure y'all are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. We are literally on a 8-week winning streak, and we are going for 9 this week. So let's see what we can do. So that was Bitcoin. We are still looking for this to head up, sweep, and then decline towards the downside. It can go down early, start declining from here at any moment. I do expect it to actually go take this high and then decline. So I would prefer to see one more push up this week on Bitcoin and then a movement towards the downside. Do not look to capitalize on the further push up as we are already in this trade. So there's no, you're late to the party. If you didn't catch it from last week, again, make sure y'all are subscribed so y'all don't miss out on any future trades. But this one's already going. So we're just going to be looking for opportunities once it gets up in here for potential movements towards the downside. Okay. This week on gold. So this week on gold, I'm going to be looking for a downside move. Some of my favorite trades that I'm liking this week are probably going to be mostly, I would say, gold, EURUSD, NZDUSD, and probably AUDUSD. So for gold, let me clear this up for y'all. So last week, I was looking at a short-term buy on gold somewhere in this range. We didn't get the full short-term buy, and we actually ended up closing back at entry. So we have now started to push into that shifting range. I do expect gold to take these lows and to tap into this range before heading back towards the upside. So this week, we are going to look to capitalize on a movement on gold into this range. How was y'all's week last week, man? I hope y'all had a good trading week. Let me know how y'all's week was in the comments, man. Again, also for those of y'all that are new to the stream, every 8 weeks, I'm going to be giving away a free mentoring package to anyone that's commenting on the video. So every 8 weeks, I'm going to go and I'm going to look at all of the videos, and whoever commented the most is going to enter in a drawing, and we're going to do a live drawing this actual YouTube drop. So we have literally 2 more weeks before we do the first drawing for the first mentor giveaway. So literally drop a comment, you automatically enter into the mentoring giveaway. Free package, lifetime package. It includes literally the full strategy that I use, the full 5-step FXK strategy, along with access to the mentoring chat room, along with access to the FXK locker room where I post my personal trades that I take every single week. So good little bonus for y'all. So this week, we're going to be looking at a downside move on gold. Where am I going to be looking to enter on gold? I do like this level. I don't want to see gold making any new, I would say, structural highs. And the next structural high is going to be this range right here. So we really don't want gold to break above that level. So it needs to actually hold that level. So for me personally, what I'm going to be looking at on gold is going to be a retracement into this area to mitigate price action, and then a movement further towards the downside for this week. And we're going to be looking to target this OB around this range. Okay. So this is what I will be looking at for gold, and validation for me is going to be above this high. DXY, last week, DXY was perfect. Chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful trade last week. For those of y'all that don't know, I specialize in DXY. All the DXY pairs are my most accurate pair, so I'm crazy with the DXY. Last week, we were looking at a retracement into our area of interest and then a movement towards the upside. We literally got a perfect tap into our area of interest and then a continuation towards the upside. I did give everyone the updates in the chat room. Again, the chat room is down below. Link in the description is completely free. Make sure y'all are joining. If you're taking or considering anything that I'm putting out on these trades for these YouTubes, please make sure y'all are in the chat room. All my updates go in the chat room, whether I'm looking to skip the trade, get out of the trade early, whatever the case may be, the updates go in the chat room. So you will be completely lost in the sauce if you do not join the chat room and make sure you're getting all the updates. So last week, retracement down into the zone, continuation up. I did let y'all know that once we were getting down into this range, to potentially look for reversals on the DXY, as well as some of the counter trades that I shared with y'all last week. So NZDUSD last week, I let y'all know that we were looking at price action to head towards the upside and then drop. So I did tell y'all that y'all could look for potential short-term scalps towards the upside. So if y'all did capitalize on that, cheers. I also let y'all know that this was going to be potentially ending soon in the chat room. So y'all could have closed out of those short-term scalps as well. So a lot of opportunities that were shared last week for y'all to potentially maybe just get some in and outs. I know we missed a lot of our favorite trades last week, EURUSD, which I'm about to share with y'all, and the NZDUSD. These were our two favorite trades last week, but all in all, last week was pretty solid. We did get a little short-term push on USD CAD towards the downside, so we made some profit on that one. EURUSD last week we were looking at price action to retrace into this range and then head towards the downside. Price action just gave us a small retracement. It didn't give us the full one. And it ended up melting on us. So it actually left us, but overall, beautiful directional bias on EURUSD. It did head towards the downside. USD CAD. So this was when they were able to kick off towards the early in the beginning of the week, literally Sunday. So price action was here when I dropped the chart for y'all, and we were looking at price action to pop into this range. I did let y'all know last week on the YouTube drop that we were looking at price action to either tap into the 4-hour FVG or to tap a little bit deeper into the 1-hour FVG. So anywhere in this range fully, you could have been looking for a potential move toward the downside, but the more optimal area would have been inside of our area of interest. So it actually tapped right here and then literally declined towards the beginning of the week, literally started to drop, retrace, and then continuation down, finished 75% of the movement. So at that point, I did let y'all know that that was done at that point. We were watching the DXY, right? So as the DXY, this stalled out in this range. It even gave a second push down, but it stalled out in this range. And as it was stalling in this range, we then had the DXY got to our premium zone. So at that point, everything on USD CAD was just completely off the table, right? Because we're expecting the DXY to go up. So USD CAD is going to follow that, which I did give y'all that update again in the chat room as well. So if you're not in the chat room, you're completely missing out. So hopefully y'all were able to capitalize on this move towards the beginning of the week. If not, then this should have been something that y'all just left alone after it pushed down twice or at least closed out an entry. So that is USD CAD. And the last trade that I shared with y'all last week was NZDUSD. So last week we were looking at price action. This was my main trade too. I really, really wanted this trade, bro. We were looking at last week for this to decline towards the downside and just tap us in, man, just a little bit into this mitigation point, but completely missed this, dropped early. So it is what it is. We missed this one, but beautiful drop. If any of y'all caught that last week, cheers, man. Literally another beautiful week last week. DXY went beautiful. EURUSD directional bias, beautiful. USD CAD, if y'all caught some of that towards the beginning of the week for a scalp towards the downside, hopefully I made a little bit of profit on that. NZDUSD, we missed this, but beautiful directional bias on this. And Bitcoin did head towards the upside, and y'all should have made some profit, and it is still in profit. So overall, last week was a profitable week, and all of our trades did go into the intended direction. So that's good to always see. Now let's look at what we're going to be looking at for this upcoming trading week. So this week on the DXY, what am I looking at for this week? So last week, we broke above a key level, got our continuation. So overall, we were looking at this retracement. So we broke it last week. We got the retracement, we got the continuation. What I'm looking at right now is for us to come into this range and then retrace short term. So we're going to come into here, we're going to retrace short term, and then we're going to go back up. And at this point, we're going to get a BOS. So how am I going to approach this for this upcoming trading week? What I'm going to be looking at this week is for price action to, again, I'm going to go ahead and mark this on here so you guys can see it. Again, I hope y'all had a great trading week last week, man. Had a pretty solid week. It was slow, but it was profitable. So you can't complain about it being profitable overall. Again, if y'all are not subscribed, make sure y'all are subscribed. Of course, we are literally on a 9-week streak. Y'all don't want to miss out on any future trades that I'm dropping for y'all. DXY into this range, and then we're going to be looking at a retracement. Now, it should not break any key lows, right? So our key low is going to be here, right? So it's going to be our invalidation. Okay. So once we find our high, we'll be able to take a better measurement when it comes to fib. And so for now, let's just say right here, right? But I'm pretty sure it's not going to be there, especially the market's going to open a gap. So wherever it ends up being, we're going to drop fib and we're going to make sure that it's in premium. So as of right now, even right here, it lets me know that premium is minimum going to be right here. So I'm not going to be looking to buy any trade on this until it at least breaks this level. So even if price action gaps up, that just means I'm going to move this further towards the upside, which means premium is going to move up a little bit further. So as of right now, we're going to rock with premium here. And this is the minimum of where I'm going to be looking at to enter on price action. So in this premium zone, now where in the premium zone interests me. So if I'm going to narrow this down, let's look to see where we have any imbalances or mitigation points. So we have a daily FVG right here. Okay. This is questionable. I do not like this FVG over this one. This one looks a little bit better, but then again, it is, and it's most likely, damn, this is a good one. It most likely is going to hit this one before getting anywhere down here. So at least what we can do now is narrow it down. So now our zone is here. Okay. So essentially, I would say, and of course, we're going to bring this down to make sure it's in premium. I'm not trying to do that. Try to do that. Okay. So I would say just rock with some type of entry in this range is what I'm going to be looking for. And then a continuation up again with invalidation down at this low. So that's where I would be looking for price action this week. Again, in here, down in here, this is where my opportunities are going to be. So I'm not looking to take opportunities on the sell. I'm looking to take opportunities on the buy for the continuation up. So that's my main focus. So I will be waiting for price action to get down here. And then I will be looking at the DXY cross pairs to look for opportunities. Okay. So EURUSD. This week, what I am looking at on EURUSD is going to be a slight retracement. We have now changed character. So we are shifting trend and we are looking for, so structurally, this is going to be a key high. So we do not want price action to break key highs and start to shift internally. So we want it to hold that. Mitigation point is going to be here. Secondary mitigation point is going to be here. Cool. So what I would wait for is for, again, price action to just push down a little bit more and then retrace first, right? And then you guys can look for a continuation towards the downside. Your area of interest is going to be anywhere in this box, and you're going to be looking for a continuation towards the downside. So goal for this week, we are going to be looking at price action to retrace here. And we've already touched over gold a little bit, but I'm just going to refresh y'all real quick. So gold this week, overall, we're going to be looking at price action to retrace in here. Invalidation is going to be above this high. And we're going to be looking at price to continue down into this range. Okay. So of course, the better and the deeper it retraces in here is going to give you a better risk to reward. So just be patient, let price action retrace in this range. And then I would be looking for a continuation towards the downside. For those of y'all that are students, I will keep y'all updated in the mentoring chat room on when I look to enter these trades for the week. Next thing I'm going to be looking at this week is going to be NZDUSD, and then we will wrap it up with AUDUSD. So NZDUSD, I am looking at further downside as well. On this one, invalidation is going to be around this range. I do see a clear single area of retracement, which is going to be here. So that's good. So just one spot of retracement is going to be here. If we can get price action to retrace into this range, you're going to have yourself a really nice trade towards the downside. And of course, I want y'all to always make sure, for those of y'all that are students, make sure price action is always in premium before you look to enter any type of trade. So right now we can see that premium does suffice the actual daily FVG and the mitigation point. So we are in our premium range. So we can potentially look at entering with this mitigation point. So this is where I would be looking. Again, invalidation at this level and you're going to be looking for a continuation towards the downside. So wait for price action to retrace in here and then look to capitalize on trades for a continuation down. And NZDUSD is actually going to go and take this low. So you're going to be looking at target points at least in this area. And this is going to be a really good area for y'all to target right here. Okay. So that is going to be overall what I am looking at this week for NZDUSD. Last thing that I'm going to share with y'all this week is going to be AUDUSD. And this one's going to be similar to the other dollar pairs like NZDUSD and EURUSD. We're going to be looking at a small retracement and then a continuation towards the downside. So I do look to see the retracement happen in this range. We do have it's a 4-hour order block right here. And then we have a 4-hour OB right here. And we have a 4-hour FEG right here. I don't see it coming all the way up here. It could, but I really don't see that happening. What I really see happening is price action digging a little bit deeper, retracing, giving us a head and shoulders, and then a continuation down. Overall, I just want you guys to focus on some type of reaction in this range for a continuation down. And again, for those of y'all that are students, look for the 5-step strategy as price action retraces into this range, and then look for your confirmations for the movement towards the downside. Other than that, that's really all I got for y'all for this week. And again, make sure y'all are in the chat room. Link is down below. It's completely free. Please make sure y'all are in there so y'all don't miss out on any updates. Drop a comment in the comments below to enter the mentoring chat room. Mentoring giveaway every 8 weeks. So every 8 weeks, we're going to be doing that. I'm going to keep it going probably all 2026. So I just want to try to help y'all out as much as I can. So for the rest of 2026, every 8 weeks, we're going to do a giveaway for y'all. So whoever's commenting and just active in the community, I'm going to show y'all love. So every 8 weeks, as long as y'all are participating in the community, showing love, I'm going to keep dropping these charts, keep helping y'all make money, and I'm going to keep doing what I can for y'all to try to give y'all as much quality, just overall education, trades, consistent trades, just quality overall. So I'm just trying to do the best I can for y'all, help y'all make some money, help y'all in y'all's careers. But other than that, that's really all I got for y'all, man. Y'all have a great trading week. I will keep y'all updated on these charts as they move in the chat room, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.